We're all set. We're live, man. First and foremost, just thank you for your time. I know we had some time to talk off the camera. It's going to be pretty much the same exact conversation. But yeah, man, Q Rich, you have been, I guess, a veteran to me. I have veterans who I've played with, like the Mario Chalmerses, the Brandon Knights and Jared Jackson, those guys. And I've also had veterans who I grew up around. And you're one of those veterans who I grew up around, which I thought was super cool. My dad is represented by the same exact agent that you are, and I know you've told stories about being at the crib for It's Summer Groove and all these events when you were probably like, you're younger than me, you're like 18, 19 years old. I'm 29 now,
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy. But dude, thank you
right.
for making the time, man. I don't know if was I a ball boy when you were on the Heat too?
No, well, yes, you were. You were. You
That's
actually were. Yeah,
crazy.
you absolutely were. Yep, yep, you were for sure.
That's crazy. I just thought about that. No, because my dad got done he finished in '07 and '06, '07 season. And I started
Yeah,
being a ball boy that season. So you was with Rio and Bees and them.
yeah, yeah. Bees
Man.
was there. Rio, obviously D Wade, D Wright,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
UD, Big Cat, Joel, Anthony,
Yeah.
all the guys. Yeah,
Big
it was
Cat.
that was
Big I
yeah, it was a
heard
fun year.
I heard he was a really good vet, Big Cat.
Big Cat, one of my favorite teammates all time, man. That's one of the best people, good human beings, just a solid dude, man. We and D Wright, all of us, we always crack jokes and laugh about different times with Big Cat. That's a solid dude right there. Real talk. I still rock with him to this day.
That's what's up. Nah, he's good people. He's good. That's Jamal McGlure for those of you who are tuning in and don't know who Big Cat is.
Yeah.
But man, like I said, thank you for the time. I mean, this show's called The Rookie and the Vet, and simple. It's about how to make it in basketball, and I mean, it was fair to say you made it in basketball, and you're in media now. I think basketball has a lot of different trajectories. Some people end up in the front office, some people end up coaching, some people end up, in media. And you had a very long career as well. You played with different teams, and you've I guess touched a lot of lives, and especially being from Chicago, you stayed local. You chose to go to DePaul. You were conference player of the year. I want to say as a freshman, you were conference player of the year, and then ended up leaving after your sophomore season. So, man, you've achieved a lot in the game, and I think just in terms of looking back on your career right now, obviously you're more mature. You're in media. You do a whole lot now within the game. You're very well spoken. What are some things that maybe you would have told your younger self to prepare yourself as you go throughout basketball? I mean, starting off in Chicago when you're young.
Looking back and knowing what I know now, it would just be like I would say to myself that things ain't always gonna go your way. You know what I'm saying? Even when you think they should, they still might not go your way. But you got to learn how to push through that and continue to, you know what I'm saying, to keep your head down and control what you can control. Because I feel like that was the biggest thing that I learned, especially, going from, like you say, having a lot of success in high school and college and then getting drafted and then being a young player in the league. It's like that was the first time that, when you get to the league, you find out about politics and different things that go on when you get to the professionals. And that's like,
Yeah.
that's not just basketball. That's like in life. When you get to the first job or something, you may deal with politics somewhere along the way there. And it was no different for us as athletes, man. When I got there, I felt like it was gonna be like everything else. You earn, you get. And quickly that was not the case for me my rookie year. I didn't get to play a lot when I felt I had earned the right to, leading up and into and throughout training camp. I felt like I played good enough to at least be on the court and to like get a DNP like to at that point when I had never
Yeah.
not played in the game, if it wasn't for like me being hurt or something like that,
Yeah.
like it was never a game where it was like you about to play anybody where I'm not just gonna play. And it was like for me, that was like a shock. So like I would just say to my younger self, just keep your head down and keep working. The work is always the key and control what you can control. But like if you put the work in, sooner or later you're gonna get to show it. I don't care who or what you doing and where you at. If you put the requisite work in and you sharpen them skills up, at some point you're gonna get your chance.
What specifically, you talk about the DNPs and you talk about DNP stands for does not play or did not play, for those of you who are watching
Yeah,
this and
coach's
don't know.
decision.
Yeah,
DNP
coach's
coach's
decision.
decision.
Yeah, it says coach's decision, DNP. Um, no one really prepares you, not just the DNPs, but like no one really prepares you for those things. I remember when I was talking to D Miles, as I told you the other day, um, we were talking about how, you can go from, and you were a McDonald's player too. My dad was a McDonald's player. So you can go from being that guy in high school, McDonald's player, and then you go to college and you're that guy at your program, and you and your city, I imagine it was love, like being that guy from Chicago at DePaul, killing it, being, a well-recognized player, and then going to get drafted, and then things change. How would you have prepared yourself differently for that? Because it's one thing to just be able to tell yourself, hey, be prepared for this, but I think life sometimes is the best teacher.
To be honest, I'm gonna be real. In that situation, that's one of the first key moments where I was thankful that I had Jeff Wexler. That's obviously those out there, that's our
Yeah.
agent, myself and Zoes. That was the first time where, like, this is early on in me having Jeff as agent, but that was like the way I was dealing with that was wrong. It was an 18-year-old kid from Chicago inner city, not really, like you say, not knowing how to operate in this world and feeling like I'm being wrong. Like I felt extremely strongly that, like,
Yeah.
I just killed in camp. It's no way. But I don't know everything. You 18.
Yeah.
And depending on what organization you with, they may or may not communicate certain things to you and let you know. So you may just be left in the dark. And that's where I was at.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's no way. 1+1 = 2. This ain't adding up. I played well enough to get a chance to at least get in the game.
Yeah.
And so I didn't understand the politics that was going on, that they were trying to clear out space, because it was a logjam of us young guys. Myself, Corey McGetty, Keon,
Yeah.
Dooling, D Miles, LO, all of us at the wing. And it was hard to play. Then you still had Eric Piakowski, Tyrone Nesby,
And
some
I think
older
most
guys.
of y'all were draft picks too, so you came through the organization. It wasn't like, they brought in those guys.
Exactly.
It's like draft picks year after year trying to figure out what's going to work.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that was when, like, I'm getting into it with my coach, and I'm like, I'm feeling like he didn't like my coach was Alvin Gentry then. Dennis Johnson was the assistant coach, and I remember, like, one instance I got into it with my coach, with Coach Gentry, and it was like that got to Jeff. And I was like, this was that moment where it was like, he was like, dude, like, listen, I get it. You feel like because he knew how I felt coming out
Yeah.
of camp, and he knew how I felt with I was communicating with him the whole time. He like, I get it. He like, but listen to what I'm telling you. He was like, you going down a road that I won't be able to help you with.
Yeah.
He like, you doing certain things, and if you get labeled in certain ways and the word gets out, like, it ain't nothing I could do. He
It's
was
hard to
like,
shake that label, man. Once you get
and
labeled
he
that guy, it's hard
and
to
he kind
shake
of
that.
the way that he talked to me and the seriousness that he kind of scared me with that, because, like, the last thing any hooper want to do is have hoop taken away from him. So I
Oh,
was
for
like, in
sure.
that moment, it was like, wait a minute, like, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? He let me know, like, bro, you 18. You know what I'm saying? You blessed to be where you at. Yes, things ain't going the perfect way, but, like, look around and look at where you at. You living your dream.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it before you really get a chance to, get to the takeoff. Like, this is the beginning. Cause, like,
Yeah.
he had to talk me through, like, when I got drafted at 18. I felt like I should have been hired.
Like a
And
lot.
he
Yeah.
told
You
me that
just
night,
missed
he
the
was like,
lottery too. So like that's
yeah, he was
yeah.
like, Q, like, trust me, I've been doing this a long time. He was like, this is not a sprint. He
Yeah.
like, it's a marathon. He was like, this is the very beginning of the race. He like, it may look like all of those 17 guys that went in front of you are way out and running. He like, trust me, you right there. And, like,
Yeah.
those two conversations was like two of the, like, instrumental things. Like, 'cause like I say, Jay is like a big brother, agent,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, like, that showed me and taught me so much in the whole game of everything. And, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a big reason why I feel like I got a chance to have this second act, because he didn't allow me to go down the Chicago Q path, you know what I'm saying, that I could have went down when I was starting out. He really, you know what I'm saying, resonated with me when he spoke, and he hit home with some things. And then, Jay, he relentless, dog. He
Yeah.
ain't gonna stop. He gonna keep letting you know. He ain't gonna let you do crazy stuff to yourself. So, like, that's why I always gonna have a lot of love for Jay, and, you know what I'm saying, everything he do for all of us, not just me. You know it, your dad, Dirty Rice, D Miles, Sarah, Boog, Hughes, everybody, anybody who he represent, man, they know. Big Tatum and Isaac right now, they
Yeah.
they they know how Jay. You know what I'm saying? It's a real relationship. It ain't just about, like, agent and player with Jay.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, he's the cool thing. I think some agent relationships kind of die after you stop playing, but I think
Exactly.
you're a testament to that. D Miles is a testament to that. My dad's a testament to that. Like my dad's like 56 years old. You know, he's an executive with the Heat, so Jeff is still working deals for him, which is a cool thing, man. So shout out
Yeah.
Jeff, and he's had a
J
tremendous impact in my life,
double.
huh?
I call him JE double.
J E double Jeff Rowe. But that's
Yes,
what's
sir.
up, man. I think something that was interesting that you said too is like you had to shed that Chicago mindset, and I think so many people enter the league thinking they can just will their way to success, right, and get it out the mud. That's not really the case. There's so many politics that you mentioned already that like come up, like the playing time, the cap space, all these different things, draft picks from before. I've heard stories of, you know, guys I play with get traded to another team and they're hot and they're pissed about that. But then a week later, the whole entire front office gets canned and they realize that the GM was trying to protect them and looked after them. You know, so like there's a bunch of different things that happen behind the scenes, and I think you don't really understand it until you kind of get to see behind the curtain. You know, obviously I didn't play an NBA game. I was in camp with the Rockets, but I grew up in the organization just in terms of
Yeah.
seeing the league, right? I remember, you know, like when people ask me, it's like, what was it like growing up in the NBA? What is it like having your dad be your dad? I think about it this way, like the same way somebody will work at a law firm and you know, your dad may work at a law firm and you know all his colleagues. Like I know my dad's colleagues, they just happen to be, you know, dudes on TV making millions of dollars. So I think that's super
Yeah.
cool. But talk to me more about the politics of it. Like how did you have to my OGs have taught me about that. The guys I play with told me not to, I guess, get upset at certain moments because hey, the season is long. You got 82 games. You got the playoffs. You got injuries. You got all these different things that can happen. What are some things that you learned along the way that really open your eyes and helped you slow down? I guess.
For me, for me, it's like you're gonna get upset. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't that's a
Mm-hmm.
human nature. Like things happen, you're gonna get upset. But it's how you handle that anger and that upset and what you do with it. And I've been on both sides of it throughout my career where I've dealt with it the wrong way and I've seen it dealt with the wrong way. And then later on in my career, as I got older, I learned how to, I grew from those mistakes and learned how to handle it the right way. But it's like those things can be, like they said, they can cripple you and hurt you before you really have a chance to understand what was really happening and going on. And sometimes you might have been right. You might have been right to be, I'm mad at this for that or whatever, but it's still like, did you handle it the right way? Because a lot of times, especially as a young player, what we don't understand because we so young and we stubborn, we got confidence, we got all this talent, and we want our chance, and we trying to get our chance to show our stuff. And it's, when you young, you wouldn't be in the NBA if you didn't have that outlook. I don't care what
100%.
any player says. Like there's a certain selfishness about supreme athletes. You have
Ego.
to have
Yep.
a selfishness about like I'm selfish to the point that I'm going to get there. I'm going to make it to where I'm going. So it's like you gotta be driven like that. So it's like when you get there and things don't happen, you're gonna get upset. But it's you don't understand when you get upset and you show up late or you half-ass it when you doing stuff or you don't do what you supposed to do or don't show up here or miss this and like all you doing if these people are really picking on you like you want to think all you doing is giving them ammunition. You throwing the lob for them. All they gotta do is tap it in. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the easiest thing in the world. If you gonna try and be delinquent or think you showing them up, you are not. You are showing you are kicking the chair from out under yourself. Like you doing it to yourself, bro. Like I've been there where it's like, all right, I ain't playing, I'm getting DNPs. Like I ain't about to do nothing in practice. Man, Dennis Johnson pulled me to the side so fast, bro. Bro, and this Dennis Johnson, legendary Dennis Johnson from the Celtics. DJ stole the
Yeah.
ball. That
R.I.P. Yeah.
he was our assistant coach. So like that was my man's. Like he used to grab me and D Miles up. You know what I'm saying? And he right there from LA, from the hood, Pasadena, or was it Glendale? One of the two. But like he from that area, and like he was like our assistant coach. And whenever he saw when it like me specifically, because like I say, D had a more of a chance to play more our rookie year because he was number 3, so he had
Yeah.
more of a shot. But like he would see me in different moments, like starting to go there. He'd come over there and he'd talking to his D. Hey, let's him up. All right, now don't start that shit. Don't start that shit. Like it's gonna be me and you. And then like he would be able to pull me back out of it. Like especially like them first early months. It's like that was like the hardest thing in the world. You gotta understand. D Miles got drafted at number 3. Keon got drafted number 10. I got drafted in number 18. This all the same draft.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah,
you look at it, it's two dudes this got drafted in front of me. You know what that means in the league. When you get the people that get drafted higher, they're gonna get more of a chance. So
100%.
it's like you throw on top of that you got Corey Maggette, who's on our team. He's a second year. He's not a rookie, but he got traded to us during that same summer. So now it's me, Corey, Keon, D Miles. Right now, I known Keon since I was 12. I known Corey since I was like fifth grade. We played first time we played against each other. We didn't grew up. We both from Chicago, played against and with each other
Yeah,
all the way through. Same year, high school, everything. Same McDonald's and everything. D Miles was like the little bro who started playing with us AAU when he was a freshman. So these are like my
your
friends.
people. Yeah,
And so imagine you get drafted, you excited. Now you gotta watch your friends play and you not. Like how you gonna deal with that? You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
And it's like without being jealous of them or hating on them, but still you trying to get your own motion going, but you ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to because like think about it, like me and D like this. You saw one, you saw the other. It didn't matter. He
oh for
played
sure.
20
Yeah,
minutes, he played zero. We was going out. Like our rookie year, we used to laugh because it people thought like, you know how young guys get drafted and move to the city and they move their brother or their cousin or something.
mm-hmm.
They thought I was the homeboy,
That's
some
so
people.
funny. Yeah,
Because you know, from the Midwest, I wasn't big out in LA, not known like that as far as like nationally. So like people didn't really know. And I really got to see that my second year where I started playing. Got to be run up for 6 man a year that year. I was hooping. I'm meeting the same people, Trey. They reintroducing themselves. I'm looking at them like, I met you so many times
yeah,
before. Like
yeah.
now they acknowledge me because I'm hooping now. So like that's just part of how it go.
So I'm thinking about it this way too. Something you said. I think about it from a fan's perspective as well. I could already hear people saying like, "Did the money make it easier?" Like you're making millions of dollars, but you're in that
No,
position. Talk about that
no.
because people don't
You don't
understand that.
listen. When you that young and you just starting out, like you like obviously, yes. Like forget about like yes, it makes everything. You coming home, you driving a car, you comfortable, you got money in your pocket like that. But like you got what you gotta understand about an athlete, a real athlete that's like a real hooper. We ain't thinking about that. Like after we didn't sign the contract and we living where we living and things are coming and the check, like that's not in the forefront of our mind like that, especially when
Yeah,
you trying to, you know what I'm saying, you trying to carve out your space. Now, I ain't never made 100, $200 million to know how that feeling, whether you ease up on the gas. But like, bro, like we think about it, it's like a track meet, right? If you
yeah,
think about it, you gotta think about what you, especially what I was dealing with. Not I can't speak for everybody else, but like you had an 18-year-old, and then you had me, Corey, Keon, Lamar Odom, all 19. No one has like it ain't no big dog on the team where it's like, oh, he got 80 million. We all at the starting line like
yeah,
this, looking across at each other, trying to take off. That's why practices every day it was a fight. Every day it was up
yeah,
because you had dogs in there that was all trying to get out the cage and try and get their chance.
yeah,
And it was like everybody was kind of on the leash because it was so much of everything. And at that point, Coach Gentry wasn't like I told him to the set, like when I saw him in Phoenix and after the other stops after LA, like I love Coach Gentry to this day, but like I used to hate him when I first got to the Clippers because I used to be like, bro, he used to tell me and Corey, like, Corey, it's gonna be nice to like, hey, if Q play, you ain't gonna play. If vice versa, like I'm like, why we can't play? Like why we can't play together? Like he's like teams play guys like us together all the time and shuffle guys in and out, but like he didn't at that point his philosophy wasn't like that. So it was like if one of y'all play, the other one ain't gonna play. So it was like you dealing with that, and it's like it's all dogs. Like me and Corey didn't almost fall, me and Keon, like whoever. It like because it was like that.
yeah,
We finna fire live. Like people think about like yeah, you think about money. Like we going back home salty, bro.
yeah.
Like you got a DNP or you got like 2 minutes or something, like you got thrown in at the end of the game. You sitting here like, man, you got to think about it. Your whole, like you said, where we from, our whole city looking at it like, man, that man got a DNP tonight. Like you thinking about that. Like we ain't had social media to deal with the extra stuff, but
Hmm.
like that's how we thinking. Like, man, people gonna be looking in the paper. My daddy was watching this game. I ain't even get to play. He like, what's going on?
How
Like,
would
you
you
know what I'm saying?
how would you navigate that with social media now?
Whew.
Because like I think about it this way, LA already has a spotlight on it. And a team like the Clippers, granted, it's not necessarily the same caliber as the Lakers for sure, but it's still a team in LA, and
Mhm.
y'all are an up and coming group with three different rookies on it, right? Who are
Yep.
all drafted in the same class, all in the first round, right? How would you handle, I guess, social media nowadays in terms of if we were talking about it in those times?
I would imagine it would be about how it went in real time for me as it started out. Like it started off when I was ending my career. I can't remember exactly which years, but like it was there for a few years while I was still in the league. But like the first year or maybe two, like I was like, nah, I don't care who it is, you not just gonna say whatever to me. So it's like, and I've never deleted anything. So whatever I've ever
Yeah.
tweeted is all the way back there in that history, me talking crazy and reckless to whoever I was talking crazy and reckless to. I done got into it with players on the social media after a game, all of that early on.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where it was like, okay, I like, you know what I'm saying? I get it now. Like, nah, I'm not about to,
Yeah.
I don't even reply. Like now, when I do anything and I post anything, you know how it is. You're gonna get some people that's talking good, bad, or whatever. And then you're gonna get somebody that's wanna jump off the roof, jump off the cliff to try and get a reaction from you. So
Yeah.
it's just like I don't even really like if especially if I don't know the people, I'm not about to respond and say nothing really, you know what I'm saying, and go back and forth with people because to me it's ridiculous. Like I don't know you, you don't know me, I don't never see you, you'll never see me. So you
Yeah.
entitled to your opinion. I just gave mine and that was it.
Yeah. When did you learn how to be a professional?
Man, I feel like I feel like as far as like the work part of it, I feel like the work part of it, my dad prepared me for that my entire life. Like the discipline,
Yeah.
the way that he was strict on me, the way like I feel like if it wasn't for my partner then, you know what I'm saying, my sister too. My sister sprinkled in some of the business, but I think my pops with was showing me how to work and showing me what it takes to, you know what I'm saying, roll your sleeves up and get to it no matter what it is. And like I always say, control what you control. You control how hard you work. Nobody can't take that from you. And that was something that I feel like I learned from my pops watching him. He drove Chicago public transportation for 39 years, and like 8 of them years while I was still in the league, he still didn't want to retire. He didn't
Mhm.
care. He just like, I'm not somebody who just sit around. Like he got to do stuff. So that, and then I would say like, you know what I'm saying? Jeff probably polished everything up for me,
Yeah.
man. Like showed me really how to, you know what I'm saying, how to be, how to present, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and then a combination of being around different vets in the league and just learning from different people. Your dad being one of them, but you know, Jawan and Finn was like for me every summer I got to see them. You know what I'm saying? Like from a player standpoint, like how to be a pro, like how they came in and how they handled their business, how they worked and how they showed up. And then, like I always say this story, like for me, Finn and Jawan, I looked up to them from a hood standpoint and a professional standpoint because the whole hood loved them. You feel me? They was hood.
Michael Finley, right?
Michael Finley and
Yeah.
Jawan Howard, hood heroes, respected to the highest level from whatever you want to say, the gang side, the street side, all that. Everybody honored them boys. And so for me, it was like watching how they carried themselves and saying, like, okay, when I get A, B, or C. Like I want to be seen like that. I want to be respected. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause they was good dudes. They always hollered at all of us young boys and tried to, you know, say positivity and show us good stuff and always show love, that type of deal. So I'm like, cool. You know what I'm saying? I had good examples around me, getting to be around, you know what I'm saying, MJ and things like that and being exposed to certain people. Like, I feel like that's truly what made me be like, learn how to be a pro. But like, I mean, hands on daily. I would definitely say, you know, from my pops and then my sister and then Jeff.
Yeah. I think aside from this, and I don't know if you know this, I run a company called Coach Kama, and it's essentially a consulting company for the families of elite youth basketball players because a lot of them don't necessarily know what they don't know, right? Um, and it's so important for the family to be prepared, not just the player, because you see a lot of
Yeah.
times that, like you're saying, like you learn this stuff from your dad and your sister. Not many people have examples like that, and sometimes parents are saying, "Hey, I'm just going to put my kid in the right environment in terms of growing them and taking them on a circuit." But how important is that at home component?
For me, it was paramount. Like I feel like if it wasn't for the at home component, I wouldn't be sitting here speaking to you today, like as who I am. And I don't think I would have made the NBA or then done half the things I did if it wasn't like if it wasn't for my pops. Like I say, I could have easily been somewhere in the streets of Chicago doing whatever. Any of us, my pop, any of my brothers and me or my sister. But I felt like my pops, my mom's passed when I was 12, and then my pops, he held it down. But like I tell people all the time, like when I was younger, you hang with your friends, you see them about to go left, you like, oh nah. Like I'll tell them, like, hey, man, the police. And I'm like, boy, I ain't worried about no police. Like, my daddy worse than the police. Like, please let the police get me before my daddy. What are you talking about? I'm
Yeah,
not going to do none of that because I already know what it is.
yeah,
Like my pops will lie, no, no, no. And like that thinking and the way he had raised us thinking like that kept me out of God knows what. And I feel like, what I'm saying, my sis, she picked up when my mom passed, and like she did what my pops couldn't do as far as like he showed me all the work aspect stuff, but like my sister was super smart.
yeah,
Graduated with a master's from Kellogg Northwestern business degree. You know what I'm saying? She got I don't know 2 or 3 degrees from colleges, DePaul, Northwestern, Chicago State. You know what I'm saying? So she was smart. She was like on getting me a cell phone and a credit card my junior and senior year to establish credit. I don't know what the hell credit is, you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? But she was
yeah,
on that type of stuff trying to sharpen me up on that side. She made me take Latin in school. I'm like, I'm gonna take a Latin. She likes the root to all words. You're gonna be more articulate and this and that. And then like she used to make me read. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gonna be a kid that's scared in class and shine away. Nah, you gonna raise your hand and you could read.
yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? And people don't
That's
realize
what's up.
to me, like I done played on different teams, bro, where like you know how it is in media day. This is hilarious, but it's true. I'm sure you've experienced this too, playing in the league. And I'm never would I say anybody, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just
Yeah,
saying, like you in the things at media day. Media day, for those who don't know, all of those things you see most of the season on. Sometimes they might get a different day if they want to switch something up and add something later on the season. But most of the stuff you see for the whole season on that jumbotron, all
promos,
of the
everything, all
ads,
that.
they promos, and they holding it up, trying to get you hyped for the crowd, and they saying different things, and they doing promotions or endorsement drops or whatever with their teams partners. We do all of that on one day at
Yeah,
media day, basically.
yeah. It's a long day
So
too.
and the way that the one of the things I found out, it didn't matter which team I was on, they was always going to use me because I was able to articulate. I could look at the thing, I could remember what I just saw without having to be coming up if they ain't how the things coming up the monitor already. Like I was able because of what I felt like what my sister had me do. Me and my cousin, she used to make us read in front of her. Like y'all not gonna be scared to to talk in front of the class if they tell you to read. You're not gonna be scared and sitting there stuttering and like y'all don't know how to read. So like for me, every time I got to it would be like blah 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 blah, and then it would be like I see myself. Okay, I'm gonna be on someone because I'm getting through them.
Yeah,
You feel what I'm saying? And then they're gonna ask for you more because you're getting through them and you actually doing it well.
exactly.
And so for me, I never had no problem with that. But I felt like that's something that I always remembered that my sister, I felt like she gave me a heads up, like a leg up on people with because of that. Because I
Yeah,
would be in classes, all of us have been in class and somebody's scared to raise to, if
hmm
they get caught on the read. I don't care who you are, we didn't all witness that.
for sure.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And so for me, I never had a problem with that because of that.
that's what's up, man. I think like kind of what you were talking about as well in terms of being prepared for life after basketball. It's not just the media day stuff, but they ask you to be involved in the community too, because
Yeah.
you could go speak at the schools and talk to all these kids and encourage the kids as well, and that sets you up for after the fact because I think we've all been there, we've all seen it, right? I mean, thank God for my parents and guiding me down the right path and the help I've had and the help you've had as well. But for some guys, when their career ends they can't pick up the phone and call somebody for help because they're not equipped and those relationships just died. And they felt like, okay, I'm gonna be playing for 15, 20 years and I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna have this bag and save all this money. It doesn't work like that for a lot of people. Like the average career is only 3 years. What are some of the things? I mean, before I even go into that, you talked about how you learned off the court and how people prepared you off the court and for on the court as well. What about the OGs like MJ, like being in Chicago? I know he's up on my wall behind me. Being in Chicago, I know you had opportunities being a Jordan brand guy to be around him, learn from him, and things like that. What are things you took away from MJ?
The work. The work was always the key to everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like watching him, getting in the gym. When I got in the gym, he was like on the back end of everything. Once I started getting a chance to be around him and play. And I was there when he re-upped and started to make the comeback when he did come back to the Wizards. And just to see that and to see him at that age after being done, he had to turn the engine off and said it was a wrap. And to see him start that thing and crank it back up and be out there with all us young boys and being in the gym about before we even got there. By the time we get there, he finished with his first workout, and you know what I'm
Yep.
saying. And then he's still coming back and hooping with us and doing all the other stuff. But like for me, those are the things I took away from just like the work ethic. Like when you see how good MJ was and how confident, like that's it ain't no secret sauce. It ain't no magic pill. It ain't no, what I'm saying, ain't no trick that somebody not showing you. He really in there getting it in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like he really putting in that work, and like to see somebody get that good, you know what I'm saying? And that like even at that age to be able to turn up the way that he was able to turn up after like going away from the game, like to me that was like that just showed you like, bro, like this man don't like he gets it in. And like that's dealing with different little nicks
Yeah.
and injuries when you trying to do all of that stuff. Like you watching them get treatment and do stuff and still get right back out there and go to it. And so it's like you looking at the greatest player ever, and if you can't take that away from that, like look at the point he's at right now. He's got nothing to prove at this point. Like he didn't gain any extra accolades when he came to Wizards, and you know what I'm saying, they really mean nothing to him. So it was like this is just for the love of the game and
Yeah.
like showing like this is how you go about your, if you're gonna do something, this is the way you do it. You do it full throttle. And it was like to
Yeah.
me that was impressive and inspiring to see and watch.
Yeah, I think that's a good segue into this next one. And one of the things my dad has taught me is about taking care of my body, right? And I know a lot of young guys, especially you and D Miles, you came into the league and you was jumping over everybody, right? So you were freak athletes. That's something that's instilled in me to this day, right? Like I do things like stretch and make sure I'm hydrated. Go to Pilates, actually one of the sponsors for the show. It's a brand called Tremble, and they're a massive Pilates studio based here in South Florida. Did you do anything along the lines of that in terms of the Pilates, the yoga, taking care of your body, in order to play as long as you did?
Nah, no, no yoga,
Never
no
did
Pilates.
that.
I was a hooper, man. I would go, like I say, I was every summer, whenever we got through the season, I was there. I was home within a week or two, if not sooner. And after a week or two, we was in the gym, we was at hoops. And for me, that was it. You know what I'm saying? That was the work. Get in there, like, because we would have different, we would do weights, we would do individual stuff on the court, and then it would be the runs around 2 o'clock after everybody's done with all of the different workouts and all of that stuff. And it would be like a kind of like all day thing. You get that 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, you either doing the court or the weight room first, or whichever one you switch out. Then you chill for a minute, and then by the time you get through, it's about to be 2 o'clock. It's time to start stretching and getting ready to run. And then we're gonna hoop for about 2.5 hours, depending on the day. And then you get done about 5 o'clock, and that's your day. Like for me, that to me, I've to this day I've never been somebody who was gonna do Pilates or yoga. That's just not me.
Hmm.
No knock on whoever do it, but that just wasn't me. And for me, I was like, I'm a hooper, bro. Like to me, in the early 2000s, it wasn't all this information about how good yoga and all this stuff. I get it why guys do it now because it's good for it's parallel to the sport. It helps you
Yep.
in a lot of ways. So but that knowledge and that information wasn't out there and being promoted the way it is today. So it was like it wasn't like a big wave of guys doing it. And for me, it was like I'm a hooper. Like I hoop every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on Saturdays, and I'm gonna work out, get stronger, work on my body in that way, and then you know what I'm saying, be on this court doing individuals. And for me, that was what I was supposed to do to be a hooper.
Yeah. Is there something just in terms of player development? Like you literally just laid out the whole entire plan in terms of what you did in order to be your best, right? And I think a lot of people don't necessarily understand it. It is kind of like a 9 to 5 when you are playing professional basketball because you get up early in the morning, especially if you have a family, right? You got relationships and all these things you got to maintain as well. So you're getting up early in the morning, you get to the gym, you get your lift in, you get your work in on the court, and in addition to that, you hooping, right? I know some people will go out there and just hoop. Some people go out there and just work on their game and get in the gym. There's a bunch of different methodologies, but how important is it to have a plan? Because you have a plan. You had a plan in terms of developing your game. How important is it to have a plan?
I think it's extremely important, man. I think like, because that's how can you know what I'm saying, if you don't have a plan and you can't set goals, like how do you what you doing? You just flying off the hip and just going about. I mean, I guess some people do, but I mean, for me, the way I feel like as a basketball player, like I've been doing this playing since I can remember, and then it's like when you get on the team, it's like everything becomes regimented. And I feel
Yep.
like that's the way life is going to be eventually. When you get up, you do this in the morning, then you do this, then you do this, then you do this. And it's like for me, being in sports and playing sports, like having a practice time and having, to be there early hour or so to do A, B, and C. And that's no different than having to show up to work an hour early to prep for your day and know, and so you could get your day straight off and not be starting to get stuff together when you start. You know what I'm saying? It's like and it just gets you disciplined about time. Like no matter what I do in life right now, I'm gonna get up around 7:30 every morning, no matter what happens, because I've been getting up for that long, early for that long. So it's like for me, it just like I said, it gets you in a mode where your body is disciplined and you used to having a set schedule. Got to be here, but I got to be here. And for me, in my life, like I'm early. Like I don't get to places on time and after or late and stuff like that. Like I feel like I'm gonna break out in hives if I'm running late. I'd like because it's been that way for so long to where it's like not only is it gonna cost you, it could cost you money, but it's just like you're gonna be. It's still like a PTSD from when I was a rookie. When you're a
Yeah.
rookie and young 1 through 3 years, like you know how it is. Like until you 21 or 22, like you still a young boy.
Yeah, for sure.
Hospital days and all that, you better be here, you better be early, all of that stuff. So like from all of them years of that, that set me to where it's like, don't matter what it is, I'm gonna be early. And if we be late, I'm gonna be aggravated. My wife knows this. I'm gonna be aggravated about being late. But
Yep.
sometimes women can't help it. We just gotta deal.
We won't get into that. We won't get into
Yeah.
that. But you said something else that was really valuable in terms of this journey in the league. Your first 3 years, you're a rookie. Like even though you might be a sophomore and all that, a lot of people still see you as a rookie. I think the landscape of the league has changed a whole lot. You see a lot
Yeah.
of young teams, and there's not as many vets as there was before. There's not as many OGs. As a former player, how do you see that from your perspective now in the league changing?
I think I think the league still need vets. I think they're important. They bring a value. They bring a huge value in my opinion that no matter what teams can use. And you see fewer and fewer of them now. Like shout out to UD, my boy, the ultimate OG, you know what I'm
Shout out
saying?
UD.
I feel like he laid the foundation for Bam to run with it and do what he do and be the next OG. But like you look at DeAndre Jordan getting a chance to do it over there in New
He's
Orleans
doing a
with
great
those.
job in New Orleans out here.
Yeah, love DJ. He is super cool, great OG for them guys. But yeah, man, I think it's important. I heard something today where I was watching something and Brandon Miller was talking about how, he LaMelo going to Minnesota, he was losing his vet, and it was like what?
that's
Yeah,
that's
like
the
two,
crazy thing
two
to me.
years, y'all
Yeah.
about like that's the new league though. Like you come in the league and you might be 19 and the dude on your team with the Supermax is 22 and he the man in them. Like that's the big dog right now. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like by default, that's the way kind of league going. Like I say, unless you got one of those guys, a Marcus Smart or a DJ or an older guy like a Harrison Barnes or a Clay or one of those guys in your locker room, it's like this is the guy. You know, Kyrie. I mean, they superstars, so they even though they vets and OGs, it's still a difference than having those kind of neutral guys that's not at the super top but kind of somewhere in the middle, and then they got the space to be able to speak, and they that's what they really do.
Yeah, no, it's crazy you say that because when I interviewed my dad for the first episode, he was telling me that one of his vets was Robert Parrish, you know, and Chief at that time was like
Yeah.
39, 40 something years old. So for him to be a vet in that scenario and then LaMelo Ball to be a vet now, that's pretty crazy, man. That's pretty crazy.
And speaking of vet, I gotta shout out Sean Rooks, man. That was one of our vet. Him and Derek Strong was our vets in LA. But like, and I felt like I said we looked at Dennis Johnson as a vet to us too, even though
Yeah,
he was our coach. But like, shout out Sean Rooks, man. God bless her dad. Big Rooks was that was a great dude, and he was like that. He was married, he had a family, he had kids and stuff. So he was like a true OG. But he took me, D Miles, and us out like the first time we ever went out in New York and like went to like a big shot steakhouse and all of that. Like Brooks took us. He took us out our first time in New York. So big love for Brooks, man.
that's what's up, man. It's those experiences that I mean, even for me from my playing days, that's what I remember. Like I remember going out to dinner with Jared Jack, and you know he covered a bill, right? Or
Yeah,
Brandon Knight, and he covered a bill. It's things like that, you know, like they make a big impact, and you remember it as a rookie. Like one of my, I can't wait to sit down with him on the show, and we're about to break down film. We're gonna go over Stefan Castle in a bit, but I remember we got done with practice one day in Sioux Falls with the Miami Heat's affiliate team, and Mario Chalmers used to live in an apartment right across from me. So we went back to the crib, and we I went over to his, sat down on the couch, and we broke down all of Game 6 of excuse me, yeah, all of Game 6 of the 13 finals when
mm,
when Ray hit that shot in the corner. The whole
right.
entire game, we broke down the whole entire game. And that's when it really clicked for me, just in terms of the basketball IQ perspective, because he was like, okay, what's that set? And I knew all the sets because we were running the same exact sets. So it
Hmm.
became a lot more simple for me and helping me understand like why players do what they do. Because I think a lot of times coming into the league, you see guys, you see big moments, and you're like, man, that's crazy when OG did that and hit that shot and did that. But you start to break it down, you start to see behind the scenes. Like you're saying with MJ, I mean, MJ was gifted, yes. At the same time, I think MJ worked harder than every single person he was up
Yeah,
against, and he had that mentality. And those are things that, believe it or not, you can learn. You may not reach the same place as him because not many people have. Nobody really has.
right.
That being said, I do believe that you could teach some of these things, and it's really cool to have grown up in this space. And I know you've grown up in this space too, as well. So
Yeah.
that is super cool.
Nah, for sure. I agree.
Yeah, man. All right, so I'm gonna pull this up on the screen now. Bet that. All right. So I know we had talked before, and you said that this is one of your favorite players in the league right now,
Yeah, young
and I
fella.
think it's because of he's just a dog, like the way he approaches the game. So
Straight
this
up.
is
Oh, dog.
yeah, this is one of the game. He had 40 this game. What was the stat line? 40-point triple double. This is in February. I also might maybe want to go over some of his final stuff. Usually, what I do with the film breakdowns, I slow it down to like 0.75. And I mean, maybe you could touch on this as well. I love your perspective. But a lot of people, when they watch film, especially like young dudes I work with, they don't know that in NBA locker rooms, when you watch a film, you watch it with the sound off. Like you're not hearing the announcers, you're not hearing anything. So you can lock in.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's a bit different. This is a team that doesn't necessarily have, I mean, they have vets like Harrison and all that stuff, but um, this is a team that's, I guess, different in the fact that I think they're like Fox is a vet, and Fox is like my age. He's like
Yeah.
28, 29, you know?
Yeah. Harrison. Yeah, they got Harrison is the big vet. Now they got Tobias, add Tobias to it.
Yeah,
So he'll
that's
be
going to help a whole lot.
yeah, I love TB. Tobias. He's super vet. But no, the thing I like about this kid, man, is that he plays both sides of the floor, and he has a intensity about him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That he's not backing down from and anybody, period.
yeah,
And I love the fact that he can play multiple positions. To me, he's a 1 through 3, and he can guard some fours.
yeah,
And if this is true about him growing however 2 more inches, that's gonna be really be crazy
yeah,
this year. But like for me, it's the because I'm a, like when it comes to defense, I like old school defense. I don't like teams or guys where they just accept the screen and switch and point and don't even get to the. I
yeah,
want to see a dude trying to get over the screen at the point of attack, even to the point to where you get kneed in the quad sometimes. But
yeah,
like that's the effort that this kid gives regularly. I see him chasing to get over screens, not wanting to switch. If I got this guy, I'm trying to lock this guy down. I've seen him actually give different superstars in the league hell
yeah,
the whole game and like be relentless and then to be able to go on the other end of the floor offensively and provide what he provides. The kid got everything. He can play some point. I mean, obviously, we all know he has to improve on some of the turnovers that he makes, but I mean,
yeah,
even with that he has a confidence where he's not afraid to make that mistake. Those mistakes don't cripple him and make him scared and shy to play ball. He still plays with aggression and intensity that it doesn't matter.
yeah.
So for me, he's really like just in a quick 2 years, like he's ascended to like one of the top two-way players in the game easily to me.
How important is communication? I think like not a lot of people understand. You're talking about some teams that point switch, and you see that on the circuit now. You look at EYBL, you look at Peach Jam, and all these. Some teams are point switching, but when I tell the players that I work with and my clients that like one of the gifts that I had as a player, I was the loudest player in the gym at all times. I was talking, I was pointing, I was communicating. How important is that in terms of setting the tone? Like pros communicate, and I think a lot of people don't necessarily understand that.
No, it's huge. I mean, when you look around, like some of the most successful and some of the best teams, they've had that guy. Like you hear Larry Brown talk about the '04 Detroit championship, how they made a trade for a guy named Rasheed Wallace, and he came in and he was loud. He was
Yeah,
yelling and pointing and communicating, and that changed the course of their whole year.
yeah,
So I mean, you see it the success with Golden State, Draymond. He's consistently yelling, pointing, blowing up plays. Like Draymond's a maniac with it because he knows the film. He's gonna know the team's plays. He gonna if he sees a trigger or a start to something that sparks, he's gonna call it out and try and blow it up. So I mean, those teams. Tyson Chandler was unbelievable with that. He was
yeah,
a guy that was on the back line that would call out everything, screens, plays, cuts, and be blowing things up. So I mean, those to me, those guys are invaluable. And I've been on teams, so I know the impact. Dwight was like that. Dwight Howard
yeah,
was one of those guys that knew all of the plays and would be back there playing linebacker, calling things out, and always loud. All like you
yeah.
say, loud. Everybody could hear him and making it known. It's like sometimes some people don't know it, but just being loud can cause confusion. Like the team will react like you know what's going on,
100%.
even if you don't, just because you yelling something out and reacting. They like, oh, they might get a little rattled, but like just I definitely value guys that are communicators, that are talkers, and it to be loud like that.
100%. I think like you said one term that I want you to explain. A trigger. Explain to people who are watching like what a trigger is.
It's like an action that can kind of let you know like this is the start of whatever play it is. Like some actions are triggers. Like if a guy hits the top of the key and gives you a UCLA cut or whatever or different triggers to start plays or just the setup. If they come down and you see guys in certain positions, you know, hey, this is that play, and it's like it's just a trigger to let you know that this is if you've been doing your film work and watching what the team is doing, that guy's gonna start yelling and calling it out as soon as he sees it.
Yeah, it's like a domino falling essentially. So as soon as the first domino falls, you can know, okay, this is the action they're in. They're running this for Steph. Let's get on the top block and prevent him from coming up top. And help side needs to be over, and all these different things. I think you know the film study portion and understanding why things are happening. Man, it changes things for you. Like I heard stories about Rondo just being able to. I heard he was another guy who's a
Another
genius
one,
just in
yeah.
terms of how he studied
Sure.
film and all that stuff. Was there
For
a guy
sure.
you played with who was that level of like basketball savant because they watched the film and understood all the reads?
Listen, man, I think I say this. Well, I don't know how much I've said, but I literally say this about Dwight up to my friends a lot. Like people don't understand. Like Dwight was like, like everybody think it was just his athleticism. Like Dwight knew all the plays, bro. Like I had when I got to Orlando. I had never played with a big man like that. Not only like, cause like I was used to like fending for myself. Like if I'm about to somebody like Kobe or one of these guys trying to go crazy, I'm like, all right, once you start going, I'm gonna foul you. You beat me,
Yeah,
you cross me, son, I'm gonna foul you. Like I can remember, like I don't remember if it was preseason or well, but I can remember early in the season doing my same thing. Like somebody get by me and I go to hack them or foul them or whatever. And as it's happening, it's like a solar eclipse is coming over me, and it's Dwight. He coming, he hitting one hand on the backboard and then spiking that thing into like the first row. And as
yeah,
I'm fouling, he like, no, don't foul him. And he landed in the ground like, don't foul him. I got it.
yeah,
And like I had to like learn and reteach myself early that season. Like, all right, if you get beat, you kind of gotta let him go because that's how big fella getting his stats. Like
yeah,
he lurking and waiting, and like the the one thing, like I said, he knew all the plays. He would always be back there calling stuff out. But this was the other thing that I don't think he get enough credit for. Like you can name any center. I can't name a center that was big like him. That was a real center that like if you could go look up clips. It could have been Chris Paul. It could have been D Rose. It could have been Darren Williams. Name them. Steve Nash, the best point guard to that era, right? I don't care who they are. It's been a time where Dwight, then you know how you jump out and show on the pick and roll and you
yeah,
hedge as a big man, and then they supposed to go under you and do that and get
yeah,
back and you get back, right? You know that explicitly as a big man. So you
yeah,
know that, right? Dwight Howard would get out there on that hedge, and I'm telling you, he didn't poke that thing away from all of them people I just named you.
yeah,
From Chris Paul to D Will, he didn't got him one time where he was that athletic and he'd be like think him that tall, but he would be that low on the whole hedge and everything that he would get out there and surprise them every like boot poking out like this dude is crazy.
yeah,
Like for real. He'll be back in the paint ready to crash out on somebody who if they could do anything and try and go up. Like the white don't get enough, like, it's a lot, whatever going on, but like he don't get enough credit for like his smarts, his defensive smarts of the game. Like he knew all of the plays for real, for real.
yeah. I
And
think
everybody else was supposed to be too.
I think about defense in particular. Athleticism is really important with defense, but most most of it is positioning and just understanding where you need to be. Yeah, it helps to be able to jump out the gym, but I think we both know athletes who are great athletes, but they're actually terrible defenders because they don't understand, where they need to be, the positioning and all that. So film study like is huge, man. I didn't know that about Dwight. That's dope.
Now listen, I feel like Stan, you can attribute a lot of that to Stan because Stan was so meticulous about his process, and you
He
was
was,
gone
yeah,
like
from what I heard.
Dwight. I'm telling you, Dwight was like that when it came to that. They don't give big fella enough respect and credit on that level. His defensive IQ, period, was
Yeah,
was out here
yeah.
before the athleticism comes into the play. He had a mind for it too.
What do you think in terms of what do you think? I know this is a pretty broad question, but what do you think makes a great basketball player in today's game? Like, let's say you're talking to a young boy, maybe like between like 13 and 17, they aspire to play professionally, something like that. Um, what makes a great basketball player? If you were being able to describe to them what they need to do in order to make it.
To me, I mean, you got to be a hard worker first and foremost. You got to be driven. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is what you got to want to do it, or you got to like doing it, enjoy doing it. Because if the work is gonna be a lot. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to sacrifice a lot. To me, that's the whatever sport you play, whether you're a baller, whatever football player, whatever. It's about the commitment that you're gonna give and the sacrifice that you're gonna give. Because if you really want to make it to the highest level, to the pros of whatever field you're talking about, it's gonna take sacrifices. You're not gonna always be able to go to parties with your friends. I miss parties growing up. I miss dances. I miss family things because I was on the AAU circuit in the summer. I miss family reunions and things like this. If you are truly trying to be one of the best, these are the sacrifices you got to make because that's what everybody else is doing. Whether they serious about it or not, they got all of these EYBL stops and things like that. And when you're not in the EYBL tournament, if you're not working, you can't expect to show up to the next tournament and perform better than you did or to be good. Like I tell my kids all the time, if you think that you're gonna make it just off going to training or just off showing up to practice, like you delusional. You're gonna be average and you're not gonna be as good as you could have been.
Yeah.
Like how good can you be? You'll never know. You just got to keep working and putting in as much work as you can. But if you have stepped it anywhere along the way, it's like I say, it's no shortcuts. It ain't no secret this or secret that. This is sport. You gonna have to show up and prove at some point. I don't care what you said you did. It's gonna show. You
Hmm.
feel me? Like you could say whatever, but like the work will show. And that doesn't mean that you're gonna go out and be stellar every game. You could work your butt off and still go out there and have a bad game. That's sports. That happens. But like eventually, if you've been putting that work in and grinding, it's gonna show. And if you haven't, it's gonna show.
Yeah.
That's just the facts of like that's what I love about competitive sports because what you put in is what you gonna get out. It's simple as that. It ain't no big like you see all of these movies and they dramatize speeches, but you know at the heart of it, it's like it's a coach getting in your ass about working harder and playing harder and doing more.
Yeah.
That's it. Is how much you willing to do, how much you willing to sacrifice, how bad do you want whatever this is that you say you want.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna separate you from the 12 people that's on your team or the however many thousand people trying to do it. Cause like think about it, everybody's trying to be an NBA player.
Everybody.
It's only like 4,500 of us every year.
Yeah.
Like, so you know what I'm saying?
450. Yeah.
Like, you feel me? Like, it's listen, like, yeah, 450, my bad, not
No, you
4,500,
good.
450. But like, yeah, like, bro, like, are you kidding me? You don't know how insanely good you gotta be to be
Yeah.
one of those guys
There's
in
levels
the
to it.
whole position because guess what? When you get there, it's a whole new crop coming every year.
100%. It's sports is the only job I related to this. Sports is the only job that somebody could take your job on your sick day.
Trust me.
You get hurt, you miss a day, bro. I get why you're the way you are in terms of showing up and making sure you're early and making sure all this stuff because if you give the coach a reason to put somebody else in, there's a chance that that person is not going to give you an opportunity back, right? They're not going to mess up because they've been fighting the same exact way in order to get that opportunity. So like it's you have to be a dog. You have to be a dog and you have to care about this so much. I think like I relate it this way. I think about it this way. You kind of have to be crazy just in terms of your pursuit, just how bad you want it, what you're willing to do. I mean, obviously don't do no nonsense, but bro,
Right.
like there's 450 players, each year. You got OGs who are retiring. You got guys coming from overseas now. You got a new crop of 30 guys who get guaranteed contracts in the first round, every single year, plus guys who are in the G League trying to hustle and fight and make camp and all this stuff, man. So
Hey,
there's
but
so much. Go ahead.
let me take it to a next step, right? You said it's the only sport where you could lose your job on a sick day, right?
Hmm.
Sports in general, like whatever sport you play, think about it. Like you see it all the time now. A lot of guys are retiring, becoming analysts, and all
Yep.
of these different things, right? Think about the difference between a athlete, like right. Use basketball for instance. We get to the highest level of our profession. The highest as you get is the NBA. We get there, right? No matter how many years you spend, like you said, the average is what 3 4 years,
Three,
whatever. I
4 years.
spent
Yeah.
I spent 13, right?
Yeah.
This is the only industry, like, because you look at doctors and lawyers and all that. Once they get to be that, they're a doctor and lawyer until they don't want to be or till they die or whatever,
Yeah.
right? They make big time money or whatever, good money, right? When you retire as a hooper and you go to step into, like you say, I stepped into media. I don't get to walk through the door, my chest out like I got 13 years. I know stuff that y'all will never be able to know, no matter how much game film you watch or whatever. I embodies something that y'all can't never learn. You can't buy it. You can't purchase it. You gotta earn it. There's only
Hmm.
one way to get this stuff that we as former players know.
Hmm.
But we gotta throw that to the side and humble ourselves and come through the door ready to learn and ready to do basically starting all the way over from the bottom again.
100%, man.
Unless you fortunate enough, like obviously like Shaq and those guys, Chuck and those guys, they walk in there and you the man in them. But like for the rest, the regular guys, like you can't come in there like, nah, you gotta come in there humble, this, that. Not that I'm not, but I'm just saying, like truly, like if you come in there like I got 13 years of knowledge and you being all you talking all confident and knowledgeable, like somebody not gonna like that. They gonna say he arrogant, that
Yeah.
he still think he a baller. He still like, you ain't hooping no more. This a different lane over here. Like, okay, bro, like I'm just speaking from like a true knowledge of what I know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. You gotta go like when you retire as a hooper, whatever, baseball, football too. Like you don't get to just come in that swag surfing unless you was like one of them guys. Everybody
Yeah.
else, you gotta be humble and come in there and work your way on back up. Like you ain't at the top no more.
I think even then, like you point to a guy like Chuck, and Chuck and Shaq, I'd love to have them on the show, and Kenny and all those guys. Um, Man, I think even with guys like that, you see I mean, that's an Emmy award winning show, right? You look at Inside the NBA.
Best
It
out there,
takes
period.
work to do that. You don't just wake up and, you know, get on a show and win an Emmy. There's a lot of work that goes into that, and it's a team. It's a lot of different levels to it, man. And I think
It's
even
a
as
lot of
a
people
go
behind the
ahead.
scenes that happen too. It's a lot of people like that's a whole like I've been in that studio in that building. It's a whole production. It's a lot of people that make that machine go, and that's why they fought the way they did to make sure they was able to continue to do it the way they did because they got a family over there, and
Yeah.
it's really like that.
No, it's serious stuff. It's serious stuff. But what I was saying in terms of Chuck, like he has his own show and he talks and speaks and you put a lot of work into it. Yeah, you have fun on the set and all that other stuff. But man, like life is hard regardless of where you are. And I think this is something that I thought at one point when I was a kid, and maybe you thought this way too, or maybe you know guys who have thought this way. It's like, okay, once I get to that point, I'm gonna be good. Like you're never really good. Yes, you may have the money aside where you're taken care of, that's fine. But if you really want to be great at something and you want to keep leveling up, there's no satisfied. Like one of the things my dad taught me is that I think you can maybe attest to this. My dad's one of the hardest workers I've ever been around in my life, especially from a basketball standpoint. Like the weight room at the Heat Arena is named after him.
Yeah,
You have to be not satisfied with, you have to be unsatisfied with where you are. Because there's always another level. There's always more. There's always something that you can get out of the game. And you said you kind of grew up that way in terms of your dad and your sister instilling that in you. Um, Aside from Castle, maybe are there other, I guess, guys, other things you're looking for maybe in this season, guys who have that hunger and have that fight?
oh man, I'm looking forward to my young boy Tatum to have a bounce back year. I mean, obviously he came back faster than anybody could have predicted and thought he would have came back from the Achilles. But
Hmm.
having a healthy summer, been seeing some videos of him training and working out and playing with some high school kids at his camp with CP3 and stuff. So looking forward to him having a bounce back year and going out there doing his thing. And then obviously, man, I still got a lot of love for the old heads. Kyrie coming back. I
Yeah.
love this. I feel like basketball is better when my boy is out there hooping and doing his thing. He one of the best you gonna ever see. KD back at it again for another year of hooping. LeBron in Philly is gonna be crazy, and
What do you think about him ending up in Philly? Did you expect him to end up in Philly?
no, I did not. That was a shock to me.
I didn't either.
I had Cleveland the whole way, and I guess things changed once Jalen Brown got over there, which you could understand how that could be enticing to him.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
like, I think that was the little ace in the hole that happened for them that made him even consider that. And that's gonna be to me, it's gonna be exciting to see. I feel like man, I'd be sitting here at different nights, random nights, watching NBA TV. They showing different throwback games and fast replay or whatever, and then just different highlights. I'm hyped for this year, man. I'm ready to see K get back out there. I'm a big time Cunningham fan. I think he dope. Ant-Man and LaMelo should be some must-see TV.
Yeah,
It's like I'm a real hoop head, man. I watch the WNBA. I'm loving what Olivia Miles out there doing right
she
now.
cold,
Like
bro.
Asia
She
Wilson is
cold.
the coldest, you know what she doing, but like Olivia Miles and came on the scene and shook it up. And then you still got the Paige Beckers, the Caitlins, and I'm a hoop head, man. I watch the Big Three when it's on, and when college get on, I watch everything. I
That's what's
watch
up.
all. I was watching. They had the ABCD camp on the other day on NBA TV.
I
I got to
seen that
see some
too.
of that. I thought that was dope. I want to see more of the EYBL and the ABCDs and all of that stuff on there. So that's just me, man. I be sitting here chilling. If I ain't watching hoop or working or talking about it, I'm gonna be sitting here kicking it with the kids and the fam.
That's what's up, man. No, that's good stuff. I think you know,
Oh, Ja Morant too, man. Ja Morant in Portland. Like
him in
I'm
Portland,
excited
that's
to
gonna be
see
interesting.
fellas. Like, come on, young fella. Show these people they was tripping. They ain't know what you about to show out this year. I want to see them go crazy and have a good year.
Yeah, for sure, man. There's a lot of exciting things happening around the league, and man, like it's always a pleasure just to get to learn and see behind the curtain. I know I got to experience it myself firsthand, but to learn from you, man, it's a gift, and I thank you for your time, OG. I appreciate you, man.
Nah,
Um,
man. You know it's all love, man. Tell your daddy you don't be shaking my hand so damn hard when I see him. But every time I think about Big Zo, I start doing this to my hand because that boy, woo.
that's never gonna change, man. That's never gonna. It's funny because people think when people have met my dad, they think he's mad at them or he's just trying
Right.
to
Like, what's wrong
to
with you,
big. He's
bro?
like, "What's wrong with you, bro?" But no, that's how it is, man.
Very, dog.
It's funny because I shake people's hands sometimes, and I do the same thing, and I've
I
heard
got the
that I'm mad at people too. But it's like it's I just learned, man. I shook my dad's hand long enough that it's just muscle memory. I try to break your hand now too. So
that's insane, bro. That's crazy.
yeah, man. No, that's fine. Before we go, what's your one? What's a memory you have of my pops? Like as OG, what's one of the things you've taken away from my pops?
The top memory ever, bro, is being at your crib. Like you gotta understand, man. You 18. I'm eight. What was I? I was 18 then. D-Mile
Yeah,
was still 17, bro. We hadn't even played a game in the league. Like we got drafted like June 22nd or 23rd. Like Zoe's Summer Groove was like right after the fourth.
yeah,
Like, bro, that was the first official NBA anything we did outside of the draft. Like after the draft, there was a dead period. This was like back then when we got drafted,
they
there
have
was
summer
no
league.
league. No, it was like they had the pyramid in Long Beach, but we didn't even play our first going into our first week. We played after our rookie year. So like Zoe Summer Groove was legit the first thing we went to. And since we were clients of, Zoe, I mean Jeff like Zoe and Dikembe and all them, like that's why Dikembe, Zoe, Pat
Patrick.
Ewing, and GP. They
Yeah,
were they were like the first four like OGs, and then they were like the superstars of the league. So
oh for
like
sure. Yeah,
Jeff had us come down the week before the actual weekend. So we were there Monday to Friday. This was when we were staying with Zoe. We came there and stayed Monday, and we were going to the kids camps and all that stuff during the week.
yeah.
So for me,
Y'all
like
stayed
to
at the
be
crib.
yes, bro. We at the crib.
That's
I
funny, bro.
forget which neighborhood it was in,
In the
but
Grove, in Coconut Grove.
that was in the Grove, and it had
Yeah,
that long little strip down that little side that was kind of like on the side. You know what I'm talking about?
Anchorage Way. We used to stay at Anchorage
So,
Way.
so
Yeah,
we get to go out on the jet skis, bro. The first thing, this is the thing I'll never forget. This how you know you a shorty, you tripping. We get to the crib. This one Zoe had the I don't know, I guess it was a Sprite deal or whatever. He had the whole the soda
yep,
machine in the crib. It's just
yep.
free. You just get it. I'm like, bruh. I was sitting there for like 10 minutes just staring at it. Me and D-Mal was like, soon it was your mom. Soon as your mom hit the corner, D-Mal was like, can we get one of these? She was like, baby, you could have been did that. He was like,
Yeah,
I
bro.
mean, we just like, bro, like we've got to take the jet skis. We going out like, bro, like as an 18-year-old who ain't never did nothing, like that was the biggest thing ever. I'll never forget that. Like we up in there and we just kicking it at Alonzo Mourning crib. Like, are you kidding me,
It
bro?
was it
Like
was
that.
this joint right here.
Yep. 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 Down
Yep.
that little sideway.
Yeah, man. It's
I'll
crazy.
never get that. Then we went to the hotel, the little what was the joint in the Grove with the jacuzzis on the
The Mayfair.
Mayfair, yup.
The
We stayed.
Mayfair,
We
yeah.
when the weekend came, we went to the Mayfair. D Miles got sick. He caught the chicken pox at the doggone
Oh,
community
that's
thing
right.
that week, and he
That's
didn't get to go
right.
to none of the basketball stuff. He missed the whole
I know
weekend.
he was sick. I know he was sick.
Sick.
He was
That's
sick.
that like that'll forever be the core the first, 'cause, like that was the first, and like think about that. That's the first time you meet him, and then you got all this going on, and then it's this crazy weekend. Like that was like that year was like the All-Star weekend all over again in
Yeah.
2000. It was crazy. Like
Zos,
KG, like Vince Carter just coming off the dunk contest, all of that stuff. T Mac, everybody was there. It was like we was like, man, this is like a for real. This is what's crazy.
nah,
Larry
man, it was
Hughes,
tough. It was
Walker.
tough. Zo Summer Groove. Zos, I know you gotta head out in a bit. Zo Summer Groove. I used to look forward to that, man. It was like All Star Weekend for real during the
It
summer.
was.
It
It was. It was 100%.
it
Like that
was
was like
the
no way it was being missed. I didn't miss not one. No, no. Mm-mm.
no. It was
Not
it was tough, man. It was tough. I have so many memories from that. I think like just being around the players and that's when it yeah, bro. Those are some of my best memories. It
that,
was a weekend. For those of y'all who don't know, Zo Summer Groove was a charity basketball or charity weekend that my dad would put on with his foundation every summer. He did it for damn near like 20 years.
and it
And
wasn't nobody doing it bigger. It
yeah,
wasn't no bigger charity game than that. Like, oh man, he had built that thing up to where it was
it
crazy.
was crazy. I remember one year we had this was like 03, 04. Um the Friday was like I think the Friday was always like a dinner or something like that. Saturday was a comedy show. And then you had Sunday was and like Dave Chappelle, Cedric the Entertainer, like they would come down and throw down.
One year they had Usher concert there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was part of the weekend one year because it fell on the same weekend or so. It was crazy.
It was a movie. It was a movie. And then Sunday they had the celebrity game. I remember in the game, it was KD, his rookie year. It was Bron, D Wade. Y'all might have been in the game too, but like I just remember seeing all that. And I remember sitting we was watching the game. It was me and Tim Hardaway Jr., who's in the league now. Now he's with the Heat. We was sitting there watching the game and it was crazy. I remember KD, he's not 6'10". KD's like 7 feet, 7'1". But I remember he went for a dunk, and it's like he was this far off the ground, and he just dunked. It was crazy to watch as a kid, man. Just getting to see all that. That
Nah,
was dope,
those
man.
movies, like that's one of them. What a time to be
Yeah,
alive
man.
and be a part of those events. Those was classics.
Nah, man. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. Well, something you brought up before, I think like a lot of times people don't understand like the stuff that you sacrifice to be in the league, like family time and all that stuff. And I know you got your boys that you taking to the gym right now. So go ahead and do your thing, man. I appreciate you giving us this time. And brother, I'd love to have you back on, break down more film, have this conversation. And I know I'm gonna have both the knuckleheads on this week, man. So
Yes, sir.
shout out to
Crackers in
y'all
my car.
boys. I'll see D Miles on Thursday.
Yes, sir, man. You
Yeah,
already know. Anytime, man. It's
yeah.
all love, man.
Appreciate you, brother. Have a great rest of your day, man. Take care.
All right, you too, bro. For
All right,
sure.
peace.